Advaita Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Advaita Gadadara Shiva Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavan. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. This is good. This is good. This is good. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Krishna Hari Om, Hari Om. Krishna Hari Om, Hari Om. Haribol. Jai. Jai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kanchan Mataji and Mukunda Prabhu. Wonderful Kirtan as always. Thank you very much.
All glory to Srila Prabhu.
All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So we have Ajit Krishna Prabhu logged in. Prabhu, are you there? So he said he'll be joining around 8:10. So then we can start recap of last week, what we studied. Anybody wants to volunteer?
Prabhuji, I can help.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Give me 1 sec, Prabhuji. I just came back. I just need to sit down.
Did anyone of you attend the class at the temple?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No pranam. Which temple class you're saying, Prabhuji?
So we have class at the temple. So if anybody joined, at 7 o'clock we had Hridayananda Ghosh.
Which day, Prabhuji?
Not today.
Anything special?
Yeah, you got a message, right?
I don't know.
Hridayananda Goswami, His Holiness Hridayananda Goswami is giving special session about Srila Prabhupada's mission in the West today at 7.
Okay. My office work only ended around 7:15.
Okay, no problem,
Yes,
Mataji. So we'll recap last week's chapter 4.
Yes. Yeah, chapter 4.
We learned from 4.4 to 4.7.
I think Prabhuji started with 4 and 5. He went deep, but then 6th one he touched upon, and we didn't do 7. I think, Prabhuji. That's how I remember.
7, I think we did the sloka, but
Yeah, only shloka, but not the explaining
Yes.
part actually. Yeah. The points that I remember, like in text 4, like mainly in the text 5 I remember, but just to give couple notes on text 4, Arjuna said that the sun god Vivashwan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed these signs to him? Because Krishna is still thinking, Arjuna is still thinking that Arjuna and Krishna, they're still born together in the material form. And that's when in text 5, Krishna very nicely, he answered saying that you don't remember, but I remember. And that is the highlight of it is text 5, he starts with the like Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So there Lord Krishna is giving a hint that he's Bhagavan, and he's not saying Krishna Vacha or any other name like that. So it is Shri Bhagavan Vacha. That's how Krishna is giving one of the indication to everyone that he's Bhagavan. And then he clarifies by saying that I just made few highlights for you. Yeah, I can remember, but not you. And at the end, that keyword parantapa, saying that that is, oh, subduer of the enemy. And that I remember very well, like how Prabhuji said, no matter how great a person is, materialistic or even powerful, but they cannot remember. So that's another, like, because he's Bhagavan, he can remember. And he made it very clear by using the word parantapa at the end of the shloka, and which is in English, oh, subduer of the enemy. And a couple more notes in text 5. And why he used the Bhagavan Vacha is mainly for benefit of the non-believers. And you don't remember this because you're not God, like that. Which means you, however powerful you're all, but the point is, it's just one birth, but I can remember even in the previous births. You don't remember, but all his associates come along with him, but still they don't remember. They cannot remember. And then another point is, like Krishna said, I'm telling this to you because you're my friend and devotee. So devotee, why? Because he will accept Krishna. He will accept that he's the servant of Krishna. And then non-devotee, to tell in one sentence, he's like, he thinks that he doesn't have the concept of the servant. And that's why Srila Prabhupada says, any person, either you serve Krishna or you serve yourself. So that is the difference, devotee and the realization of non-devotee. And then in text 6, mainly like how they're describing for Krishna, like how Krishna is saying, like as with the time, all of us deteriorate. That's main thing, but not Krishna. And that's where Prabhuji touched upon, like because Krishna is not born and then gone. He's like unborn. And then he said it's never deteriorate. And for that, the word he uses is avyaya and ajo. Ajo api avyaya. So that those are the keywords. This is the ones few notes I remember, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Ajit Krishna Prabhu is also here. Ajit Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam, all Gauri Srila Prabhupada.
Pranam, Prabhuji Mataji, Gauri Shri Prabhupada. Sorry for the delay. I was running a little late. Sorry about that. So it seems the recap is continuing. Thank you so much, Mataji, Sajanya Mataji, for that wonderful recap. Anybody else would like to add to that?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I will add few points. So as Mataji told, those were, very fact. She explained what we discussed in the last class about the, Krishna, Arjuna is saying sun god is very senior to you, and then how you instructed him those things, and then that part also Sri Bhagavana Vacha. So Krishna, not Krishna Vacha, so it indicates Krishna is the Bhagavan himself, so Supreme Personality of God. So the point additional here is subduer. We discussed about the subduer, so like conqueror of the senses. So here, Arjuna indicated as subduer, the conqueror of the senses, and the warrior. He is the winner on the image every time. Still he is not able to remember his previous births and what he did in the previous births and those all things. So to learn for lesson for us is the like being ordinary, even we are very less minute than Arjuna. So what is our position? So we are very, very having minute position as compared to Krishna, but quantitatively, yes, we are having the same quantities. So it is showing our position and Krishna position. So definitely Krishna is the Bhagavan. And then you, Prabhuji, made the point like the time deteriorates the body. So our body is the material body. So the time is the one which deteriorates the body. And in the spiritual world, there is no time, so there is no deterioration of the body. So whosoever in the spiritual world, so they appear and disappear. So there is no concept of what is called old age, misery age, and disease, and this birth and death. So that's the point. So yeah, that much pretty good. Pretty much I have, Prabhuji. And yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Rancham Prabhuji, for reminding us about all of those additional points. So it's very nice to comprehensively you've covered all these points. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, I remember two more points. In the very first, you clarified why he told to sun god Vivishwan is that if we tell the leader, then that will help all those who follow the leader. And then at the end, in that similar context, Mukta Sangha Prabhu asked you, like, did he speak every manvantara, every yuga? And that's again, you explained like sun god is the great devotee, and that's why people even they recognize the lineage like Surya Vamshi, like that. So yes, he did speak. And then means like in the text 5, in these past 4 texts, apart from just like, oh, I told even to be Vishwan, and then now again you can't remember it because I'm God. Apart from that, the even like why he told Vivashwan, so you emphasized that part too, which we need to make a note. And then you said people very proudly they say that we are from lineage, but they forget that he's the great devotee, and we have to follow that, not just feel proud that we are Suryavamshi like that. That's another learning point here. I remember. That's all, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. That's an important point. That's why Krishna said earlier in chapter 2, or in chapter 4, Evam Parampara Praptam, Imam Rajarishi. So Rajarishi, so the kings were devotees. They were Raja as well as Rishi. And so sun god fits that description. And that's why Krishna chose to instruct it to him. Thank you so much, Mataji. Anybody else? Okay, so then we'll continue with the next verse then. So that'll be 4:7. Chapter 4, text 7 then.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Anyone wants to go with that? This is a very popular verse. Everyone knows this by heart,
Yeah.
for sure. So
I can tell Prabhuji. Yada yada hi dharmasya
Yada yada hi
dharmasya
dharmasya
glanir bhavati bharata
glanir bhavati bharata
abhyuttanam adharmasya
abhyuttanam dharmasya
tadatmanam srijamyaham.
tadatmanam srijamyaham.
Till that Mahabharata round brings in my mind the serials. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Text 8. please.
4:8. Is Prajna Mataji there or kids?
Prabhuji Prajna will come at the last.
Okay.
He's just
4:8 is also very popular. Everyone knows. Yes. Who is this?
Tarun.
Oh, Tarun. Okay, go ahead. We'll repeat again next time. Yes.
Paritrayana sadhunya.
Pranaya sadhunam
Vinashchaya cha dushkritam.
vinashaya
Dushkritam.
Dharma samsthapanarthaya
Dharma samsthapanam
narthaya
nartaya
Dharma samsthapanarthaya
bhavami yuge yuge
sambhavami yuge yuge.
sambhavami
Yuge yuge.
Translation. To deliver the pious and
to
annihilate the
miscreants
miscreants, as well as to
re-establish
reestablish the principles of
religion,
I myself appear millennium after millennium. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Tarun Krishna. So,
Prabhuji Prajna is here. She
Yes.
can read the 9th. Come, Prajna. 9th one. Louder.
Janma karma chami divam.
Divyam.
Evam yo veti tatvata.
Evam yo veti tattva
Tyaktva teham punarjanma.
tyaktva deham punarjanma
Naiti mam eti sorjna.
naiti mameti Arjuna.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prajna Mataji.
This was our memorization sloka too.
So we'll restart from 4.6 to 4.7.
4-7, please, yes.
Okay, Surat Prabhu. Natsima Prabhu.
Yes. Yada yada hi dharmasya
Yada yada hi dharmasya
glanir bhavati bharata
Glanirvati
glanirvati
bharata
bharata
abhyuthanam adharmasya
abhyuthanam
uttanam
dharmasya
tadatmanam shriyamyaham.
tadatmanam
tadatmanam
shriyamyaham.
shriyamyaham.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Tyagu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I tell?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yada yada
No, Paritranaya sadhu.
paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya
Pavitranaya sadhuna
vinashaya tadushkutam
Vinashaya chadushkritam
dharma samtaktanartayam
dharma samsthapanataya
sambhavani yuge yuge.
sambhavami yuge yuge.
To deliver the pious
To deliver the pious
and to
and to
annihilate the miscreants
annihilate the miscreants,
as well as to reestablish
as well as to reestablish the principles of religion. I myself appeared millennium after millennium. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Kurti Mataji. Haribol.
Excellent.
Tyagu Prabhu.
Yes, Ji. Text 9.
Yes.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Ji. Janma karma cha me divyam.
Janma karma cha
Dharma
Evam yo veti tatvata.
evam yogeti tattva
Yatva deham purna janma.
Taktvaneham punarjanma
Naiti mam eti sorjuna.
naiti mameti Arjuna.
Translation Hare Krishna Ji. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Tyagu Prabhu.
Nice.
Very nice, Prabhu.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Prabhuji, for my
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Yada yada hi dharmasya
Yada yada hi dharmasya
glanir bhavati bharata
glanirvati bharata
abhyuthanam adharmasya
yuttanam dharmasya
tadatmanam sriyamyaham.
tadatmanam shriyamyaham.
And the translation by His Divine Grace Sabhay Charna Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else wants to go?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu.
परित्राणाय साधूनां
परित्राणाय साधूनां
विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां
विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां
धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय
Dharma
धर्म
Samsthapanaya
संस्थापनार्थाय
संभवामि युगे युगे.
Sambhavami
युगे युगे.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. And last one, anybody?
Janma
think-
karma cha. Okay, go ahead.
It's a
Go ahead.
Janma karma cha me divyam
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम्
evam yo vritti tattvataha
Evam
एवं यो वेत्ति
ttattvataha.
तत्त्वतः
Tyaktva deham punarjanma
त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म
naiti mameti so Arjuna.
नयति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So I think then we'll start with the discussion then. Om Agyan Tivinandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmetam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadhati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakadvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatruvascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these are three very famous and well-known verses, and of course it's very nice that the Mahabharata serial kind of popularized these verses because they would be recited in the beginning. So very significant verses actually. So it's very nice to be able to have the opportunity to discuss them and their significance. So text 7, Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata avittanam dharmasya tadatmanam shajami aham. So Arjun had basically asked the question earlier, and that Krishna, the Vaswan, is seeing at you by birth, and so, you know, how can you say that you taught him the science? And so Krishna is replying to Arjun, and he said that not only do I remember my previous births, and you don't, but then here he says, I come millennium after millennium, meaning he comes at different times according to his will. He comes at different times, and the purpose of his appearance is given here in this verse, where he says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principle and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So Krishna is giving us a few reasons for his appearance. Now, the one thing that he makes clear is Krishna's appearance is not like that of an ordinary person, meaning he doesn't take birth or anything, but he appears and he disappears. 1 second, Prabhu, I'll just... So as Krishna had said, he does not take birth like we material, those of us in material bodies do, but he appears and he disappears by his own will. He appears and he disappears. So but the purpose of his appearance has been given here. And the first one he says is that whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principles. So as we know, the Lord instructed Bhagavad Gita to Sun God Vivaswan. He gave him the principles of religion. He wanted those principles to be followed. And those principles, he gave it to Sun God so that he as a king would be able to lead the population, the general population, along the path of religious principles, follow the Vedic injunctions, and accordingly be able to make their life successful and get out of the cycle of birth and death. Now, but Krishna says, but what happens is that in this material world, people forget what the purpose of life is. And sometimes even the leaders forget. Like now when we see our elected leaders, they are not religious, they are not Raj Rishis. You know, so when that happens, the Lord appears himself to re-establish the principles of religion. At all times, there are his representatives available to help people re-establish, to help people follow religious principles. But there are times when Krishna himself appears. Now, there are many different incarnations of the Supreme Lord, and those different incarnations come at different times depending on the need of the hour. So, as Prabhupada describes in the purport here, Krishna also appeared as Buddha. He appeared as Buddha because at that time, people were using the Vedic principles to engage in animal sacrifice, and then at one point they were not even following the Vedic principles for animal sacrifice. They were just without any regulation, they were killing animals. And that, in order to stop that, Krishna appeared as Buddha and simply taught the philosophy of ahimsa or non-violence. So the point being that when he comes at different times, according to the circumstances, he presents the message such that it will be most beneficial to the people at that time. So when people were rampantly killing animals, he appeared as Buddha and said, okay, first you just stop this violence. And therefore he preached non-violence. Now, once that violence was stopped, then people's minds would be able to accept and understand higher principles of religion. But up until that point, Krishna says it would have been, at that point, it would have been difficult for them to understand deeper philosophy. So he appeared as Buddha simply to give that simple message of non-violence. Now, at different times, he has appeared in different forms. He appeared as Ramchandraji in the Treta Yuga and helped people understand how they could be leaders, how they could be the ideal king, ideal husband, ideal householder, ideal son, ideal brother. All these different qualities were presented by Krishna in the form of Ramchandraji when he appeared as Lord Ramchandra. Tomorrow actually is appearance of Lord Varaha, where Krishna appeared as Lord Varaha in the form of a boar. And the specific purpose was to lift up the earth from where it had been thrown by Hiranyaksha. So the form of a boar was appropriate for the Lord to enter into the part of the creation where the earth had been thrown, so that he could lift it out from there. So the basic idea is that Krishna appears in a form for a specific purpose. But there are times when he appears in his original form also, which is the original Shyam Sundar form, or the form of Krishna holding a flute. And he does that. Why? He tells that in text 8. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkitam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So there are many purposes that he describes here. First one is paritranaya sadhuna. So Prabhupada in the translation says, for the deliverance of the devotees. Paritranaya sadhuna. And then vinashaya cha dushkitam. So dushkitam are the demons, those who don't follow the principles of religion, those who are irreligious, those who are troubling devotees. So he comes to destroy them. Vinashaya cha dushkitam, like he came to destroy Ravan, and as Nrsimhadev to destroy Hiranyakashipu, and so forth. So that is vinashaya cha dushkitam. And then dharma samsthapanarthaya, to re-establish the principles of dharma or religion. Like as Ramchandra ji, he instructed us how you can be an ideal king, son, father, brother, husband, and so forth. Sambhavami yuge yuge, so millennium after millennium. Now, but this paritranaya sadhunam is a very dear reason for the Lord as well as for the devotees. And why that is the case is because the vinashaya cha dushkitam, to kill the non-devotees, that Krishna doesn't have to appear himself to do that. His empowered representatives can do it. He can send empowered representatives. They can, or he can incarnate in a form other than that of Krishna, and he can annihilate the miscreants. That is very easy. That is very easy for it. So for example, if we think that he appeared as Krishna, as the son of Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, to kill Kamsa. Well, yes, he killed Kamsa, but basically he came because Mother Devaki and Vasudeva had in a previous birth performed lots of tapasya. They pleased the Lord, and the Lord asked them for a benediction. And the Lord offered to give them a benediction. And they requested that they wanted him to appear as their child. So the Lord said, okay, I will do that. And so therefore he appeared as Devaki and Vasudeva's son. And it was basically to reciprocate this feeling of paternal love with his devotee, Devaki and Vasudeva, that he primarily appeared. Now, while he appeared, he also killed Kams, which was the secondary objective. But Kams could have been killed by an empowered representative of the Lord also. The Lord himself didn't need to appear to do that. But he came because he wanted to please Devaki and Vasudeva. So this is a very important point, because it shows us how much the Lord loves his devotees, how much he cares for his devotees, and how the reciprocation of love between the Lord and his devotees is a very sweet sort of pastime, and is very dear to the devotees. And when they pray hard to him to appear, the Lord comes. And that satisfies the heart of the devotee. Now, of course, the devotees got to be very pure. So Devaki and Vasudeva were very pure, that the Lord could reciprocate with them in this manner. But the essential point is Paritranaya sadhana, first one, to deliver the devotees. Vinashaya cha dushkitam, to destroy the miscreants and to establish principles of religion, dharma samsthapanarthaya. Now, in Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Kalki at the end of Kali Yuga to destroy all the remaining miscreants. But the Lord is so kind that he appeared in Kali Yuga as Caitanya Mahaprabhu to give us all the process by which we can actually come out of this cycle of birth and death. And he appeared as Mahaprabhu simply to give us this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the easiest process to follow in this age of Kali Yuga. Because to sit down and meditate with our eyes shut for hours and hours and hours is not even possible in Kali Yuga. As the Bhagavatam says, Prayana alpa ayusha kalau asmin yuge jana manda sumanda mateo manda bhagya yupadata. That in Kali Yuga, lifespan is short, alpa ayusha. And manda sumanda mateo, that the intelligence is very contaminated. It is slow. We don't have spiritual intelligence. Manda sumanda mateo. Our intelligence is manda, slow. Manda bhagya, and our lifespan is short. We are afflicted by all kinds of troubles. So bhagya, we are actually full of anxiety, so we are unfortunate. Manda bhagya upadata. So this is the situation in the material world, and especially in Kali Yuga. So the Lord says to make it easy for the inhabitants of this material world in Kali Yuga, I will come as Caitanya Mahaprabhu and give you this very simple and easy process of simply chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and this will deliver you. So like we had discussed when he appeared as Buddha, that was the appropriate instruction to give at that time. In this age, he appeared as Mahaprabhu to give us this instruction because it's appropriate for this time. We cannot perform long austerities and tapasya and sit underwater for 60,000 years and that kind of thing. That was not possible. That is not possible. That was possible in Satya Yuga. So different yugas have obviously different processes for attaining salvation. Krite yad dhyato Vishnu. So in Satya Yuga, performing meditation, dhyato Vishnu. Tretayam yadato mate. In Treta Yuga, it was through performance of elaborate sacrifices. Dwapare parichayaya. In Dwapara Yuga, it was parichaya, meaning very elaborate deity worship. And Kalau tad Hari Sankirtana. That in Kali Yuga, this performance of Hari Sankirtana, chanting the holy names of the Lord, this is the appropriate way for attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. So Paritranaya Sadhuna, to deliver the sadhus, to deliver the pious people, the Lord appears. Now, so the Lord appeared 500 years ago as Caitanya Mahaprabhu in India, and he gave us this process. But then after he departed, his representatives have always been there. So the Lord is so kind that even when he himself is not personally present, he will either leave his representatives here to help us, or he will be present with us in the form of his instructions. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Caitanya Charitamrita are Shastras. These are basically the Lord's instructions. And so these are the literary incarnations of the Supreme Lord. And so the Lord is present with us. And through the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, through the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra also, the Lord is present with us, because as Mahaprabhu describes in Shikshastakam, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nij Sarva Shakti, that this in his name, in the form of his name, Nam Nam Akari, the Lord has invested all his energies, Bahuda Nij Sarva Shakti, all his potency, all his abilities, he has invested in this name, in the form of his name. In other words, he incarnates in the form of his name in Kali. Nam Namakari Bhavdani Sadhati. So the point being that the Lord is always present, always available to help us, either in his own form or through the form of his representatives. So he's always there. And that is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And when we follow his instructions, excuse me, just once. When we follow his instructions, then we are able to achieve the goal of life, which is basically to come out of the cycle of birth and death. So now in text 9, then the Lord goes on to expand a little bit more upon this when he says Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattva. That is a slightly different topic, so we'll address that the next time. Right now we'll just focus on these two. So the Paritranaya Sadhana. And so the question may be asked that why did he appear in Kali Yuga as Caitanya Mahaprabhu and not again in his form of Krishna? So how will we answer that? Somebody might say, but we want to see the Lord in his form as Krishna. So why did he come as Mahaprabhu?
Bhakta Bhav Prabhuji. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to show the cult of the devotion. So I mean, in the Bhakti Bhav. So Bhagwan in the form of Bhakta, so that he can teach how a Bhakta, a devotee, should show the love to the Krishna, to the Lord. So that Lord Ramachandra came as a Maryada Purushotam, so that human beings should behave like that. So so similarly, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Lord himself, appear as a devotee of the Lord to show the love of the God, how to love God, Lord, so that we can follow the path of being. We are in the Brahm Gaudiya Sampradaya, and we follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how idol Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, how he was in the asceticism, he was deeply following the Lord Krishna, and how he was doing Sankirtan. So as you already explained very deeply about in that other yuga, how things were there. So now in this Kali Yuga, those all cleanness and everything is not there, so we cannot do yagya and all. So overall, in summary, we can say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach us, to show the how a devotee love to the God. Yeah, right.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ramchandra.
Thank you.
I think you got a hand up there, Kranti Mata.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanyavad Namaskar Krishna Stella Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came because of 3 reasons. So the first one is because he wanted to satisfy Advaita Acharya. The second reason is he wanted to feel how Radharani feels.
Very nice.
And to preach the Sankirtan movement.
Excellent. All 3 perfect reasons for why Mahaprabhu appeared in that form and not as Krishna. And so, and he made it so easy for us as Mahaprabhu that he said, because when he appeared as Krishna, he says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, that you have to surrender to me. And then aham tam sarva papibhyo mokshami masuja. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he made it even easier than surrendering to him. He said, you simply chant this Hare Krishna mantra and I will automatically give you love of God. Automatically, I will give you love of God. So he's even more kind, because he said in this Kali Yuga, it's going to be even harder for people to follow this process. So I'll make it even easier by giving you such a simple process. Keval Anand Kanda, Parama Karuna, Paudvidana, Nitai Gaura Chandra, Sava Avtara Sara Shiromani. Sava Avtara, all the incarnations, Shara Shiromani, the topmost, they've given us a process that is Keval Anand Kanda. This is simply joyful. Prabhu, you were going to say something, you were on unmute.
No, Prabhu.
Okay.
That's
Prabhu, you only gave us 8 verses and a 6 ashtakam, and he told us to chant Caitanya Mahaprabhu.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, can we also say that, see, at the time, Lord, so what is Lord's original form? Because you were just telling he can come based on the circumstances. So he
Right.
can as animal, and then like how Narasimha, or like every, like Buddha. But so one side you are saying that he'll come based on the circumstances. And then again you said he why he did not come in his original form. But when you said that, did you mean like why not as a Krishna form like that? Because he only came once as Krishna form. So that was one of my question. But then just to answer in this context, when you asked us like how in Dwapar Yuga, the sacrifices and then kings and the fight. So as a charity, how he did. But then in Kali Yuga, there's no such kings and then wars and battles. So it's like a normal person. And how, like as a devotee, maybe, I don't know if that's the right explanation, but I'm still confused with the first question when you said original form. But what is his original form? Because every time he comes based on the circumstances. So I'm a little lost there.
So his original form is that of Shyam Sundar, Krishna holding the flute. And that's described in the Brahma Samhita.
But he came only once in that form.
He came once in that form, but he comes in that form millennium after millennium. So it continues. It continues. It's just that in one day of Brahma, he comes once in that form.
Oh, okay. So as Krishna, he'll come again in the other millennium.
Yes.
But the other incarnations, how he came, was based on the circumstances.
Yes.
Okay. But as the Krishna original form, he'll only come millennium after millennium once.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And that happened to be the Dwapara Yuga.
Correct.
Then prior to that also he would have come, but we don't know.
Correct. Exactly. Exactly.
We only know the recent.
Yes.
I don't know what word to use.
Yeah, the recent history.
Right. And I don't know, that was just my simple thought as a devotee, not as like a, a particular shape or a form, like how Buddha came, but then his mission was to teach the ahimsa, and like that here Chaitanya Prabhu came as a devotee. But then in the same Kali Yuga, he's coming twice. First, he came to give us instructions that will help for Kali Yuga. He was so merciful, it's like extra bonus. Because
Right.
Kali Yuga is worse, maybe like that. I don't know.
Yes,
that my understanding correct, Prabhuji?
That is correct, Mataji. That is correct. Yeah.
But again, he will come as Kalki.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
And in few lectures, I've heard about Shaktavesha avatar, Gupta,
Guna avatar, Leela avatar, Shakti Vesh
yeah, I
avatar.
keep getting confused with that, Rose. If you can show some light on
Again, so Guna avatar, Leela avatar, Shakti Vesh avatar, those are all different types of avatars. You see, the Lord, so Shrut Prabhu has his hand up for a long time. He wants to say something. Go ahead, Prabhu.
I just wanted to tell that Lord Krishna comes in the 28th day of Lord Brahma.
Yes.
28 Yuga cycle, not the day. 28 Yuga cycle.
20th, like 20 or 28, 28?
28 Yuga cycle out of 71 Yuga cycles. That is why this Dwapara Yuga is very, very, because we are in this Yuga cycle, right? So this specifically this Yuga cycle is very auspicious because Krishna, he himself comes, and this is the 28th Yuga cycle which passed, Dwapara Yuga. That is when Krishna comes.
So, Prabhuji, I'm confused. What is it, 71 you said?
That's the Mahayugas, out of 71 Mahayugas, right? So we have.
So out of 71.
We have Manvantras, right? So
yes,
you know those calculations, Manvantras. And this is the 7th Manvantara we are in. Okay. So for this Manvantara, the leader is Vaivasvata Manu, right? So in this Manvantara, we have passed 28 Yuga cycle. We are in the 28th Yuga cycle. Okay.
So so Prabhuji, I'm also writing down in 71, we passed 28.
Yes. So this is 28th Yuga cycle, Mahayuga. Mahayuga consists of one Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. That is one Mahayuga cycle, Yuga cycle, right?
Okay.
So likewise, we are 28th Mahayuga. We are in. Okay, so previous Dwapara Yuga, whatever we passed, is when Krishna appeared, he himself. See, in the previous sloka, he says, right, Tada Sujamyaham, I descend myself, he says, not in any other form. Ajit Krishna Prabhu, please correct if I'm wrong.
No, you're 100% right, Prabhu. That's exactly what it is.
But Prabhuji, I want to tell in my own words, can you correct me? I'm confused at one part. So you said Manvantara, then you said there's 71 cycles, and then you said 28, and then you also said 5, which is 5 yugas will become one Mahayuga. So
Four.
So 4. So if I come backwards, 4 yugas is one Mahayuga. Like that, 71 Mahayugas, we finished 28 Mahayugas. Is that correct, my sentence?
That is correct.
So what is that that there are 71 Mahayugas?
In one day of Brahmaji.
Oh, Manvat. So that is Manvantara.
In one day of Brahmaji, there are so many of these Yuga cycles. And so in the 28th cycle is when Krishna appears in his own form, Shajamiyaham.
So Prabhuji, that one day is called one Manvantara? No, I don't know.
Oh, no.
So something we were talking about Manvantar. So that Manvantar, 71 Mahayugas, and one day of Brahma. I'm not getting the connection.
So this is just in the context of the lifespan of Brahmaji. But I think at this point, don't worry about it. Brahmaji, this just helps us understand how long is one day of Brahma. It consists of these cycles of 4 yugas, and it consists of 73 cycles like that. I mean, there are 73.
71. I don't know.
No, 73. There are 73 cycles, but yeah. So anyway, so Brahmaji lives for 100 years, and one day of his is described to be 4.3 trillion years, which is 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas. So anyway, the point is that Brahmaji that this creation lasts for a very long time, and Krishna appears in various forms, and he appears as himself also, but at other times he appears as Shakti Vesh Avatar, or he sends a Gun Avatar, or he sends a Leela Avatar. Like Nrsimhadev Bhagwan, he came for that Leela, so he's a Leela Avatar. You see? So the Lord takes on these different forms. Shakti Avesh Avatar is somebody who's empowered by the Lord to carry out certain functions. Guna Avatar are like Brahmaji is mode of passion, Shivji controls the mode of ignorance, and so forth. So Guna Avatar is like that. So I mean, don't worry about that too much at this point. The main thing to focus on is the reason for the Lord's appearance, and that is to give us the principles of religion so that we can go back to God. That's the simplest way to think about it.
No problem, Prabhuji, because we keep hearing these terms in different classes, different. So I just wanted to connect some dots. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes under which?
Comes under what?
Which avatar, Prabhu? You said like how we have Guna Avatar, Shakti Vesh Avatar, Leela Avatar.
He is called Channa Avatar, hidden incarnation.
Hidden.
Because he doesn't say that I'm an incarnation of Lord. He says I'm a devotee of the Lord. So it's called Channa.
So how many avatars you said, Prabhuji? 4 or 5? I don't know. I have 4 listed.
Yeah, so those are the main 4. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a special category called Hidden Avatar, Channa Avatar.
Thank you,
All
Prabhuji.
right, good questions. Yes, Shilpru.
Prabhuji, does that mean Lord Krishna's Channa Avatar, Prabhuji?
No, Lord Krishna himself is the Supreme Lord. He is Krishna. Mahaprabhu is the Channa Avatar. He is the hidden incarnation.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji.
All right.
In Bhagavatam, we see Etecha Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So out of all these incarnation, Krishna is direct Bhagavan, not incarnation.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So
Because he was also hidden, that's why I asked the question, Prabhuji.
Good question. Go ahead, Ramchandra.
yeah, just wanted to reiterate on that, Prabhuji. I mean, 6 avatars are there. I think in the 7th canto, when Prabhupada Maharaj very well mentioned in the verse number 7th canto, Prahlad teaching, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23-24 verse, when he is saying that Navada Bhakti, I mean, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Asmaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Mandam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivam. So there he has, somewhere in the purport, he has mentioned there 6 avatars, like Pursa Avatara, Lila Avatara, Guna Avatara, and Manvantra Avatara, and Yuga Avatara, and Satyavesa Avatara. So, whereas when we were talking about, I have just pinged in the chat about this like Manvantra Avatar and this Chaturviva Avatar. So
Yes.
I know that Brahmaji life is 100 years, right? So Brahmaji life is 100 years. And currently we are on the 51st year of the Brahmaji life. And in that, so Sajanya Mataji question was like where we are in that Manvantra and where we are in the Chaturviva. Chatri Yuga cycle. So if we try to connect the dot, so Brahmaji life is 100 years, where we are now, like 51st year of the just half and above. So 51st year of the Brahmaji life, and in Brahmaji life, there are in one day there is 71 Chaturvyuha cycle, as you are mentioning. So in where we are in that, so that is 28th we are in, and that is as Murli Mukta Sangha Prabhu told. So that is the Vaivasvat Manu Yuga cycle. So they are the leader is the sun god Vaivasvat Manu. So that's the means out of 71 we are at the 28th. Now that is the Chaturvyuha cycle, like Kalajug, Dwapar, Treta, and Satya. So that is 71 out of 71 we are at 28th. Now second thing is Manvantra avatar. So Manvantra, Manvantra, we are on the 7th, that is the Mahayuga cycle. So one is Yuga cycle, that is 71, Mahayuga cycle, that is total is 14, and in out of 14 we are at 7th. So just wanted to in a figure to come out where we are standing now. So out of Brahmaji life, 100 years, we are at 51st. Out of Chaturvyuha Yuga cycle, out of 71, we are at 28th. Out of Mahayuga cycle, out of 14, we are at 7th.
Thank you so
That-
much, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramjam Prabhuji. That was a
It really
very
helped.
good technical description. It's very nice. Okay, Prabhuji. Any other thoughts, questions, comments?
Prabhuji,
Oh, Hare Krishna.
go ahead. I'll tell after him.
Prabhuji, just about the question you were asking earlier, that why did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? So just wanted to share one pastime about that, which is written by Srila Lochan Das Thakur. Narad Muni was traveling across the universe, and he saw that here there was Kali Yuga, and then people were suffering, and so he felt compassion for people of Kali Yuga. So he went to Lord Krishna, and he decided that he will, ask the Lord, request the Lord to appear on earth. And then he went there, and Lord Krishna then showed him, explained to him that he will appear as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and he showed him his form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And seeing the beauty of Gauranga, Narad Muni, he became so overwhelmed because he was dazzling, golden. So he fainted seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so Krishna again came back to the form of Krishna himself. So Narad Muni was still very eager to see the form of Gauranga because he was so beautiful, like even more beautiful than Krishna. So in that way, then the Lord then appeared on the request of Narad Muni, and he instructed Narad Muni to go and tell the demigods and everyone that the Lord will be coming. So this is just another reason given by Lochan Das Thakur on the appearance of the Lord as Gauranga.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Prabhu. That is a beautiful pastime of Narad Muni, and another reason for the Lord appearing.
Prabhuji, like how we said, Shanna Avatar. So like Lord Balaji, so even he came in Kali Yuga, right, Prabhuji? So do we also call him as Shanna Avatar?
No. So Channa Avatar just means that the Lord did not say that he is God. He's like Mahaprabhu said, I am I am not God. So he was a hidden incarnation.
So how about Balaji avatar, Prabhuji? Like, how should we say that?
I don't know the full details of the Balaji avatar or the story. Maybe somebody else knows, they can elaborate on it.
Actually, Prabhuji, from what I know, like Balaji is worshipped, Lord Balaji is worshipped in the Sri Sampradaya, right? So he is Lord Narayan himself. So he's worshipped, they are worshipped as Lakshmi and Narayan. So he's the Lord in the Vaikuntha planets, just like we are worshipping the Lord from Golok Vrindavan, from what I have heard.
Prabhuji, I know Prabhuji.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So do you want me to tell the story of Venkateshwara Swami?
Yes, sure.
So first, when the Lord Krishna, Lord Rama came in Treta Yuga, Vedavati wanted to marry Lord Vishnu. So Sita Devi told him about this, and Lord Rama said, "I will do this in Kali Yuga." I think Kali Yuga. So appeared as so that's why he appeared as Venkateshwara Swami, and also when so he became first. One second, please. Then so first Lakshmi Devi left Lord. Wait, no, first Bhrigu Muni was challenging Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva to see who's the best god, and then he came to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu got hit by the foot of Bhrigu Muni on the chest, and Lakshmi Devi became very angry, but the Lord was very he was happy, and Lakshmi Devi said, I decide in the heart, right? So what if he hit me and right there? Why are you so happy? So she left, and so Lord Narayana took in the form of a boy and appeared on earth, and then he found Yashoda in Yashodamai, and she arranged the marriage of and first Lord Narayana saw Padmavati, the daughter of the sky god. So then they Yashoda Maya arranged the marriage between Padmavati and Venkateshwara Swami, and Padmavati was really Vedavati.
Wonderful. It's great that you know all these facts. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, Narasimhan
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Sugrit.
Go ahead, Narasimhan Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji, I was just sending the pranams for the.
Oh, okay.
Very nice, Surat Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, I think we'll stop here.
Yes.
And then we'll.
As you said, tomorrow is Lord Varaha Dev's appearance day, so please fast until noon. And also today we didn't do Ekadashi, and we are observance of Ekadashi we are doing tomorrow, Dvadashi Ekadashi.
Yeah.
Varaha Dvadashi. So fast until noon. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji, Mataji's, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Great
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो अनंतकोटि वैष्णव बंधु के जय श्री प्रभु.
Thank you all very much, Prabhuji. Jai Shri
Thank you so very
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you for Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.